Absolutely. It's applicable to any chapter. So the automatic stay is described in Section 362 of the Bankruptcy Code. So in order to understand the significance of that, it's important to know that the Bankruptcy Code is divided up into chapters, and different chapters accomplish different things. The first three chapters, that's 1, 3, and 5, are foundational chapters. Their content comes along for the ride and is subsumed into any bankruptcy that you file. So in particular, Section 362, which is in Chapter 3, is applicable to all chapters of the Bankruptcy Code. So if you file a Chapter 7, automatic stay. If you file a Chapter 13, automatic stay. If you file a Chapter 11, automatic stay. If you file a Chapter 12, well, we don't get them in this part of the country. It's for family farmers and commercial fishermen. But there's an automatic stay. So it is independent of the chapter under which you file. And you might wonder, I said the first three chapters are chapters 1, 3, and 5. Why wouldn't it be 1, 2, and 3? Well, it turns out that there is no Chapter 2, nor is there a Chapter 4 or a 6 or an 8 or a 10. In fact, the only even-numbered chapter is Chapter 12. Why is that? Well, you can tell the weak joke, Congress can't afford even numbers. They've been working hard to pinch pennies and buy some even numbers, and they were able to afford a 12. But they haven't been able to get a 2, 4, or 6. And of course, if you believe that, I've got some real estate on the moon to sell you. Beautiful view of the earth. Air's a little thin, bit of a fixer-upper. In any event, I'm being silly here. There's only one even-numbered chapter, and the reason is historical. At one time in American history, the bankruptcy statute had both even and odd-numbered chapters. Then in 1978, Congress passed the Reform Act of 1978, which reformed the Uniform Bankruptcy Act of 1898. And in the process, they jettisoned sections of the code they thought had been abused, in some cases by creditors, other by debtors, and it just happened that the offending sections comprised all the even-numbered chapters, so there were no even-numbered chapters. Then in the mid-1980s, there were problems that family farmers were having that weren't being satisfactorily addressed with the remaining chapters, so Chapter 12 was temporarily added, but it had to be reauthorized every 2 years. Then in 2005, Congress passed what's referred to as BAP-CPA, the Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act of 2005, and made sweeping changes to the entire bankruptcy code. Among those, Chapter 12 was made permanent, and its ambit was expanded beyond family farmers to include certain family commercial fishing operations. And of course, the rest of the bankruptcy code underwent significant changes as well. In any event, my point here is simply that there is a historical reason why we have as our first three chapters, chapters 1, 3, and 5. But back to the original question, yes, the automatic stay being part of Chapter 3, which applies to all chapters, is triggered regardless of the chapter under which you file.